You probably learned the Pythagorean theorem in school, maybe even dissected a frog. But did anyone ever sit you down and explain what a credit score is, how compound interest works, or why budgeting is more important than cramming for that pop quiz? Yeah, didn't think so. Welcome to the crash course you never got, Financial Literacy Basics, what you should have learned in school. Let's start with the core idea of financial literacy, understanding how money works. It sounds simple, but most people are thrown into adulthood with little more than the hope they'll figure it out. Financial literacy is the ability to make informed decisions about managing money. It's what stands between you and a lifetime of paycheck-to-paycheck stress. It's not about getting rich overnight. It's about stability, control, and long-term freedom. So let's get into it. First up, budgeting. If you're not telling your money where to go, it's going to disappear without a trace. A budget isn't a restriction, it's a plan. The simplest method is the 50-30-20 rule. 50% of your income goes to needs like rent, food, and transportation. 30% can go to wants, yes, even that overpriced coffee. And 20% should go to savings or debt repayment. If your needs are more than 50%, that's a signal you need to adjust something. And no, that doesn't mean giving up everything fun. It means getting strategic. A budget gives you control. Without it, your money controls you. Now let's talk about credit. You've probably heard about credit scores, but maybe no one explained how they actually work. In short, your credit score is a number that tells lenders how trustworthy you are with money. It affects your ability to rent an apartment, buy a car, get a mortgage, and even sometimes land a job. The main factors influencing your score are payment history, amounts owed, length of credit history, new credit, and credit mix. Want to improve your score? Pay your bills on time, keep your credit card balances low, don't open a bunch of new accounts just to have more credit, and don't close your oldest accounts unless you really have to. Age matters. On the topic of credit cards, they can either be a tool or a trap. Used wisely, they help build credit, offer rewards, and give you some flexibility. Used recklessly, they snowball into debt that takes years to escape. The key rule: never spend more on a credit card than you can pay off in full at the end of the month. The interest rates on unpaid balances are brutal. The average is over 20%. That $100 dinner you put on your card could cost $150 by the time you're done paying it off. Next, let's look at saving and investing. Everyone knows they should save, but not everyone knows how or why. There are three main types of savings you should have: an emergency fund, short-term savings, and retirement savings. An emergency fund is your financial buffer. Aim for 3 to 6 months of expenses. Life is unpredictable. This fund keeps you from falling into debt when your car breaks down or you lose your job. Short-term savings are for things like vacations, gifts, or a new laptop. Don't dip into your emergency fund for these. Plan ahead. And then there's retirement. If you're young, retirement sounds like a faraway concept, but that's exactly why you should care now. The power of compound interest is that it rewards early action. If you invest just $100 a month from age 20 to 30 and then stop, you could end up with more than someone who starts at 30 and contributes for the rest of their life. Time is your best friend in building wealth. If your job offers a 401k, especially with a company match, take it. That's free money. If you don't have access to one, consider a Roth IRA. Tax-free growth and withdrawals in retirement? Yes, please. Let's clear up a myth while we're here. Investing isn't just for rich people. You can start with $5 or $10. Apps and platforms have made it accessible for almost everyone. But before you invest, build that emergency fund. Don't put money in the market you might need next month. Speaking of the market, learn the difference between stocks, bonds, ETFs, and mutual funds. You don't need to be a Wall Street analyst, but basic understanding matters. Stocks are ownership in companies. Bonds are loans to companies or governments. ETFs and mutual funds are bundles of these investments, giving you diversification, which helps lower risk. Diversification is like not putting all your eggs in one basket. One company can fail, an entire market sector can drop, but if you're spread out, your money is safer. Now let's talk about debt. It's not all bad, but it is all serious. Student loans, car loans, mortgages, these can be strategic if they help build your future. But high-interest consumer debt, especially credit card debt, is like dragging an anchor behind your financial boat. Pay more than the minimum payment if you can. Focus on paying off high-interest debt first. This is called the avalanche method. Or start with the smallest debt first and build momentum, the snowball method. Whichever works for your psychology, just start. We also need to talk about financial goals. If you don't set them, you'll drift. Want to buy a home, travel more, retire early? These are all valid, but they require planning. Write them down, break them into steps, track your progress. When you know what you're working toward, it's easier to stay on track. And finally, mindset. Financial literacy isn't just knowledge, it's behavior. It's not about being perfect, it's about being aware. There will be months where things don't go as planned. That's life. What matters is that you learn, adjust, and keep going. Don't compare your journey to anyone else's. Everyone starts somewhere. The key is starting. Here's the truth. You didn't fail by not knowing this stuff. The system failed you by not teaching it. But now, you know. And with knowledge comes power. Financial freedom isn't about how much you earn. It's about how well you manage what you have. Learn the rules, play smart, and build a life where money supports your goals instead of controlling them. Thanks for watching. If this helped you, consider subscribing, sharing it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, it's never too late to get financially literate. Your future self will thank you.